Let's make some modern patio light poles. You're never gonna believe what this pole is.
Okay, here's the plan. So I've been seeing these light poles all over Pinterest. I love the concept because they're really easy to make. But number one, I wanted them to look way more modern. So we're using a modern planter. And then I did not want the wood pole because over time that can like rot and degrade, especially if it's sitting in water. So the plan was to use pipes, like steel pipes, but they were very expensive. They were like $100 each for the size that I needed and the height. So I wandered around Home Depot to see what else I could use, and I found these heavy duty closet rods that are 22 bucks each, really heavy duty. And here's how I'm making tops to attach the lights to.
I grabbed the wooden wood pole sockets that go to the closet rods. You can also use the metal ones, some screw eye hooks and toggles. And I just started by screwing the screw eye into the wooden hook. I feel like this would be better than metal, like it'll hold better. So that's the plan here, and then seal these. So screw it in. If it gets too tough, you can just stick a screwdriver through that hole for some leverage and twist, just until it's all the way through. The first one took me a while to figure out how to go fast. Basically, the closet rods are hollow, so we're creating something to go inside and hold the lights. So it looks like this. Next, I grabbed the toggle. I'm just screwing this on. Now, these threads don't match up, so I kind of had to force it. This honestly might be overkill, but I just wanted a little something to go inside the pole and create some tension, so the glue wasn't the only thing holding it. So now I'm adding glue. You want to use any kind of adhesive that works with metal and just overdo it. So much glue. Okay, pinch the toggle. And now you're just going to slide it in the end of the closet rod. It fits perfectly because it's made for a closet rod. And this is how it looks. So you can paint them, you can seal them, whatever you want to do to fit your style. But basically it looks like this. And that loop is what we're going to be able to attach our string lights to. So you saw in the beginning, I was adding concrete mix to the planter. I added half a bag of fast setting concrete mix to each planter. It is so important that you get huge planters. And if you are wondering if they're big enough, buy ones that are bigger, especially if you live in a windy area. Now the closet rod's pretty light, which is nice because we want this to be really bottom heavy, so it's going to really hold your lights securely in place. So I'm adding concrete to the bottom. If your planters are bigger, use more concrete. I didn't want the planter to be solid concrete in case I ever wanted to use it for plants. But yeah, just even that out. And then we're gonna stick the poles in that we attached the toppers to. You want these to stay straight up and down while the concrete sets. So I'm just using some painter's tape and I'm taping them in the middle so that they're totally plumb and even. So the tape is going to hold it in place while we pour water in to set the concrete. I kind of went overboard on the tape, not going to lie. Probably could have used a few less pieces, and you'll see that later when I pull it off. It was excessive, but I guess better to be safe than sorry. So tape it in place. Oh, and these closet rods also come in lots of different colors if you want to change it up based on your style, different planters. Okay, now I'm pouring water in between the tape to the concrete to set it. Normally you'd mix it, but since this isn't a foundation, I'm not worried. So I'm just pouring it in and peeking between the tape. It's so satisfying. Watch. So pour. And then it starts bubbling as it sinks all the way to the bottom. You just want to make sure it's completely saturated. If you haven't done concrete before, you can measure everything out. But this is what it looks like as the water is soaking in. Then I just let it sit for a while and set fully. And then I put a bunch of sand on top. This is going to add some additional weight and save space in case I ever want to plant in the top of these, like any kind of little plants. If you're going to do that, you want to drill drainage holes right above the level of concrete. This is me pulling off my excessive painter's tape. I told you there was a lot involved, so it took me a while to get all of it, but this is how it's looking. The pole is really secure in there. I ended up doing a little bit more sand, and then I wanted the top to look polished, so I got these marble chips and I put them on top. It's kind of like a hardscape vibe. Initially, I was taking like 5 rocks out at a time, and that was taking way too long. And so then we just started dumping the whole bag. So yeah, this is fun because you can use any kind of style of rocks that you want, and you just need to buy a little bit of them to go right on top. So I ended up only using 1 bag of these rocks for 4 planters. This is how it's looking on top. So cute. And then these are 8 feet tall, so that's what the top looks like. Then it was time to add lights. I stood on this really sturdy chair, and I'm just zip tying my lights through the loop with some zip ties. You can attach these any way you want. Some lights have like little loops on top of each socket that you can use, so just work with what you got. So I attached them and then I scooted the little planters farther apart to make them tight, but not too tight because then they'll tug. So you just want like a nice little scallop action happening between them. So this is what it looks like in the daylight, and as it gets darker, I'll show you how they look at night. But I feel like they're so cute. These were so simple. They're really nice because they're movable, so if I ever want to change up this patio, or if you're a renter and you don't want to be attaching things to your house, it's a perfect project for that too. I feel like adding lights to a patio space it makes it instantly better, and it's a whole vibe. These will last way longer than wood because they will not rot by sitting in water. This project is so easy. You can find links to everything I used on the blog, plus some pins so you can save it for later, and a detailed step-by-step. If you want to stay connected, you should follow me on Instagram and TikTok. And now, what do you want to watch next? Here's one that's really popular and one that I picked just for you. I'll see you in the next video. Since you're still here, you must really like listening to me talk, but the good news is I actually have a podcast. So you can tune in every week as I teach you to become your own designer and DIY your dream home. But seriously, pick a video.